Okay, hey folks, this is the March 31st edition of I think the AWS provider issue triage. Or no, this is this is the upstream issue triage. Now that I see, I think. So yeah, upstream issue triage, Kubernetes 6/Karpenter repo. We're gonna go take a look at the issues that need triage right now. So I'm gonna kick that off. Share my screen. Make sure I'm sharing the right one. Sec. So we'll check on PRs to start. Let's go to the back. Node overlay. I'm not too worried about this one. I think it's getting owned by, I'm trying to remember, I think it's a manual, if I remember correctly. We didn't assign it out, but I know that he's planning on tracking this, so I assume this is going to get picked up and worked on soon. I know Cameron has a open PR for consolidation policies. I think somebody on the maintainer team needs to look at this. It's kind of fallen to the back of the queue, and I know it got reopened at some point. Any have context or want to take a look? If not, I'll probably just assign it to somebody. Like Reed has been looking at a bunch of consolidation stuff, so I may just assign it out to him. Take a look at it. It's not even here, I don't think. Multi-node consolidation partitioning. I'm gonna probably do the same process here. Nick had done a bunch of review before he stepped away from AWS, so I think Reed has kind of become the new consolidation guru. Do that. This is in the same bucket. These. That's getting tracked. I think Jason just hasn't gotten back to that one. This one needs a rebase and did respond to it, but they need to update it. I'll go ahead and assign myself because get it real quick. Okay. That one's another one Jason's looking at, hasn't gotten to yet. This one has gone rotten. I think hasn't been touched. So it needs a rebase, but I think needs another review. Is somebody taking notes today? If not, if somebody could take an AI, we'll just follow up with Jason to take another look at this guy. If anyone wants to volunteer. I don't know.
No, I can take a note of that.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, label propagation. I know Almico has been looking at this one. Where are we at? This one, there was some back and forth on. I think this is going to be solved. I think probably going to get replaced by a different one, although I'm not sure. This was in draft, but I'm assuming there was some discussion about this in the working group, but there is a similar PR somewhere up here. Oh, here, yeah. Which is basically doing a similar thing. I think ignoring do not disrupt, and then there was some contention about some of the ways that we handle PDBs, which Sarv and I had discussed a little bit, but I don't think he's gotten back to it yet, or I need to take another look at it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that one alone for now. This one I'm gonna let stale out. Jigisha, do we did we open an issue for this one? I don't think this was the solve, right? So we need to close this possibly and then replace it with an issue, which we can track this with.
Yeah, sure. I guess, yeah, I'll go back and check if I ever open an issue for this one. And then, yeah, we can close this. I can take care of this though.
Oh, you just closed it. Did you? Or no? Oh, no, you didn't. Reads. I take another AI. I just follow up with Reed and see where he is on this one. This is in draft. I know we wanted to merge it and make testing with Quack a little bit easier, especially when we're like throwing in like AWS node pool configurations into the testing format, and like it makes it super painful right now to deal with. This was the discussion. We should probably move on this. I know Garvin.
Yeah, I need to
Oh,
fix some of the wordings. I just haven't done that yet.
got it. I didn't know you were here, so that's good.
I just joined.
Okay, perfect. Good timing. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll just wait on you for that. If you want to ping back any of us once you're
Okay.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Schedule pod count. This was me. I think this is another case of like somebody updated something and then didn't follow up on it. Yeah. I need an AI in this one. Take another look. If you could take that down, Jagisha.
Yeah, what issue number was that?
2018.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep, this one is Reed. Makes sense. He's got a bunch of these. Time zone for disruption budgets. Okay. Yeah. I know some people have some strong opinions about this one.
Time developers, strong opinions.
I
Crazy.
know, crazy. Yeah. I think we have to do something with it.
Can we get them on the working group and ask? I don't know if I don't know.
What did you say? Sorry.
Should we get them on the working group and ask?
Yeah, it
Or
might be good to have an open conversation.
I get it, but at the same time, I don't see why we can't just stick with UTC.
Yeah. The the only counter is that like Kubernetes does allow you to set time zone as well.
Right. I guess in a way it makes sense if it's cron job expression because you want the daylight saving to change. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we're not writing our own
Yeah.
parts, please no. Like, okay. let's. I'm probably not as opposed to it as some people are, but I don't know. It all comes down to like whether we think people are going to be confused by it in my mind. Because I think outsourcing it to a library makes sense, but and then we don't have to handle it. But then it's just kind of a question as whether people will be surprised. Yeah, that's fair. Default is UTC. I'm on board with that. Okay. It's the same one we just talked about. This one has been updated. Yeah. Is Emmanuel on the call? Doesn't look
No.
like it. Okay. He should take a look at this. So it's what was it? 2049, Chigisha?
Yeah, I thought it was 2044, but
Wait, was it?
yeah.
2049.
Oh, okay.
This one was one that I know I raised an issue for. I need to look at this. So pass. This would be helpful. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but you restart Karpenter and it just like slams you with consolidatable events because it like thinks it's unconsolidatable now. And yeah, I think we need to try and avoid that if we can, because large clusters, it's a problem. Statuses for node pool drift. This one seemed interesting. This seems like a good one if somebody is interested in like starting and taking a review, doing a review pass. That 2090 seems like an interesting one to just take a pass at, even if you're not a reviewer yet. This one I know I was in a working group last week. I don't know if I want to touch this one in this meeting. I'm not sure what the resolution was in it.
Yeah, the resolution was sort of like it might be a breaking change, or it will be a breaking change for some users of custom AMIs, but it looks like everyone else is okay with it.
Yeah, I'm curious, was the consensus like feature flag it and then roll it out over time? Something like that?
Yeah, everyone was okay if we were to put a feature flag around it.
Okay. Cool. I won't keep talking about that one in this one. Okay, I think that's all the PRs. Most of them are addressed. I think there's a few that need updates, but overall seems good. Two. Oh my goodness, so few. I'm trying to get rate limit token. This looks AWS specific. It definitely is. Oh, no, I did close. Okay, so what's the order of operations here now that we've done all the needs triage? Did we make a decision last time?
No.
Okay, we can go, I guess, oldest to newest. I think it's a not on, actually, let's do bugs just to kind of see if there's anything that should be removed or cooled down. I guess I'll start with the oldest. Oldest, yeah, okay. This one I remember being an issue, and I think this is definitely still a problem. This was like, if I select on anything that has to do with instance types for daemon sets, it doesn't calculate the daemon set overhead correctly because we don't do a per daemon set calculation. We just do a node pool daemon set calculation. So I think it's not too hard to solve. It's just we haven't gotten around to it. If anyone else was interested in helping out with this one, I think it's not crazy. But just help, I forget. Yeah. Anyway, this one seems good to help out with if you were interested in taking an issue. This one, I'm not sure if it even applies anymore. This is kind of related, sort of, to Jeremy's call out, but I think it's a bit different. It's like how daemons are handled on restart, but I don't know if it's a solvable problem, honestly. I opened this a while ago, but and also how often do your nodes restart? But Jason, can you take an eye on this one, Jigisha, as well for Jason? Because I think we solved this problem with the volume. What is it? I forget the name of the API resource. Whatever thing we check now in termination should, I think, avoid this 5-minute hang. Because I think the 5-minute hang was driven by the fact that we weren't waiting for the volume claim to disappear.
Okay, I can go
But-
ahead and take an AI.
Yeah, I think we should just actually ping him on this thread. I really doubt this one also is still an issue. At least on the newest versions. That's another one, Jigisha, I think we should just follow up with the assignee on.
Yep.
Reserved to on-demand? What do you mean, Jeremy?
I was just thinking, like, if they're having issues with on demand to spot, if it is like still a legitimate issue, it could affect the new reserve setting, right? Capacity type. Unless I'm misreading this completely.
I feel like they updated Karpenter and then there was some issue with our self-validation or something that caused it
Oh, okay.
on the recreate. I feel like the spot to on-demand replacement is maybe a red herring. Like specifically that scenario. Because this looks like the view, I mean, just like looking at, well, no, this isn't the V1 upgrade. This is just an older version of Carpenter in 36.0. I don't know. We'll follow up and see if that's still an issue. I know this one is definitely a bug. There's a PR for it. So I'm going to leave this one alone. Oh. Wait. I don't know about this one. Jason might have more context. This seems unrelated to the conversation, as far as I can tell. Wait, Carpenter remains positive preferred. This shouldn't be the case generally. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jason, I need to talk with Jason to figure out what's going on there. Spot to spot, unconsolidatable, we can't split. I think this is just yeah, this is consolidation with splitting nodes. It's like borderline feature.
Yeah, I mean, I would say node splitting is like almost an entirely new consolidation method. And here we are trying to make it better from multi and single node and adding a new.
Now, actually, hold on. There's one single node. Can't remember without creating two candidates. I need to, I'll take another look. I was assigned to this one. Maybe it's node splitting. I'm just like tacit reading of the top of it. It doesn't sound like it, but like it seems like we maybe like if there are two pods scheduled on one node, maybe it's a preference based scheduling that's causing us to want to split the nodes.
Hmm.
Um, Any update on this one, Garvin?
This, I thought we can close this off because or wait for them to get more information, right? Like this is like if the node is not, it's not really this. If the node gets into like the kubelet start responding, right? It's stuck in terminating.
Hmm.
There's attributing that to like Carpenter's not doing the right thing, but in Kubernetes in general, when you lose connection to like the node, it just doesn't do anything with it. And there's nothing Carpenter can do.
Why is the node stuck in terminating?
Either the kubelet stopped responding or the node had issues. And I think one instance here was like, I don't remember, like EC2 said like, yeah, instance health, reachability check failed. It just lost connection to the node, at which point it's stuck in terminating because Kubernetes already sent the termination signal to the node, but then kubelet doesn't respond, so it's stuck in terminating. That usually requires like a human to do something about it. And in the case of here too, like I don't think no prompt detector will do anything because you need to essentially delete the node through EC2 because it's completely like borked. And I'm not sure if Karpenter should be doing that or really the operator should be doing stuff like this.
I guess what's questionable to me is if like, oh, I see. So yeah, something died.
Yeah, or like even if it got partitioned, like it lost networking and the kubelet is not responding, there's nothing from Kubernetes side that usually do anything to those nodes.
And this is exactly the use case for MPD or NMA on EKS side. Like, if I don't get a heartbeat for 30 minutes, kill me kind of thing.
Yeah, if it's directly from EC2, yeah. Like if you can get that signal from EC2, but like in general, Kubernetes doesn't do anything
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
node.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even from EC2. It's just like there's an agent running on the
Right, right, right.
which I think would solve it in that case, which we
Yep.
do support this now. I kind of do agree that this is similar to 738. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of with you. I'm like kind of leaning toward closing this in favor of like this is supported by node repair.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll likely want an ask on the provider side to consume this, like it failed EC2's reachability, whatever, and have the issue on the AWS provider side, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we don't support this.
we capture the reachability just like implicitly by doing a node heartbeat check, right?
Hmm.
Like by seeing that the node has gone unknown and it's been unknown for 30 minutes, like that's effectively catching the EC2 reachability. I
Right.
guess they're separate things, but like realistically that they'll like if you have a network partition, both would fail.
Yes. I guess, are you just doing like a heartbeat against, is this like a kubelet heartbeat or is it the
Yeah, because if
actual node?
Keepo doesn't heartbeat for I think it's a minute, then it moves into an unknown state, like no control
Right.
in the unknown state.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Validation with spot by default is not appropriate. Read, you know?
I haven't had a chance to read this update yet. But basically just reading through it, I think that there is a I haven't, like I said, I haven't read this most recent comment, but just trying to figure out in what case going to a larger spot instance is being chosen over an OD instance that would fit the requirements and be cheaper than spot.
So we don't. So the only case I think that happens in is if because like the provisioner is not price aware. It just has implicit pricing ordering by well, actually it doesn't even have implicit price ordering. It's not price aware. So if we filter out instance types such that only spot is available and there's no OD left, then that would happen. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, hold on.
That's what I think that's what they're saying here.
If spot's not available, falling back. I'm trying to remember how I responded here. Falling back to the OD offering is going to be more expensive than the spot one, so this guards against launching a replacement OD node that, while better utilized, is more expensive than the node being replaced.
So this statement is just incorrect.
Right.
we will-
That's what was hard about triaging this.
This statement is correct, and is something that I think is more of a, like a, I don't know, it's a feature ask slash, like, we've talked about it, but we haven't done anything with it. Like, I think it's a more comprehensive change to how we do scheduling, because it basically requires us to collapse the offerings and be aware that, like, somehow be aware that bin packing more pods makes our overall price more expensive, which is kind of hard to guess at, because, like, it's possible that it doesn't, but you don't know it at the time you're making that decision.
So
Right.
about, yeah.
You maybe have to build a heuristic around, like, price per resource or something like that. I don't know. It's not an easy problem to solve, frankly.
Yeah, I can take a look at case two and maybe we just better understand. Although it probably, like you said, probably is a feature.
There's, like, a generic class of problem here. I think that like, there is issues that are open for, like, that this type of, like, I would like the provision to be price aware. I don't know off the top of my head where they are, but I think that they do exist.
I'm on 2084. I don't know if we're going to get to it or not, or if we already did.
The pull request or issue? Oh, yeah.
Issue. Basically, at the bottom of consolidation, we will check to see if it's a replacement or a delete that's happening, right? And so if we are replacing the node, we will do a check to see if there's the same instance type. However, if it is a delete, there exists a race then where in single node consolidation, you could identify a delete because an empty node could have appeared, but which is the same instance type. And then the single node is consolidated down into an empty node. I need to still confirm this path, like that is true. But I know Jeremy was working on it and had a repro.
Oh,
Has
I think
provided some context, but yeah, we basically don't check for the same instance type if it's a delete instead of a replace. And so your newly empty node, which could be the same node, well, so you'll have your underutilized node
I get you.
disrupted and all of that sent to the empty node,
Yep.
even though nothing got better.
So it's just, yeah, it's just a race on, we got past empty node consolidation, now we're moving to single node, and we just happened to not in that time frame.
Right. Jeremy, did you have a sleep? That's how you were able to show that this race exists?
No, I
mean,
just read the code after someone ran into it.
Yeah.
I
could-
haven't repoed.
It makes sense that this would happen, though.
Yeah, so don't disrupt if the target's the same, I think, right? But like I think it's maybe a bit more because like what if it because I think you could have a case where the target you're consolidating onto is not necessarily empty, but it's lower utilized or it is now lower utilized. And then would you want to, like, what direction are you attempting to consolidate? Like, there could be some agreement that these two candidates, which are the same node, should be consolidated, but like which one to which? And I think that's kind of like the disruption cost heuristic again. What I'm trying to say is I don't know if you win this race, but it needs to be like, there's definitely something that needs to be looked at least for disrupting onto an empty node if it's the same kind.
Yeah, that strikes me as, like, a pretty easy check to add.
The
Yeah, I
empty part, you mean?
Yeah, the, like, don't consolidate from single node onto empty.
Yeah, if it's the same. I agree. I think the case where they're not empty nodes is harder.
Yeah, so I took a look at the code, and the big one seems to be that it just prioritizes when you have a bunch of daemon sets, it prioritizes the node that's older to
Mhm.
be consolidated first. So just ignoring daemon sets and that problem goes away
So
from cost calculations, I think.
I need to double check because the node. I need to double check because I know the disruption cost heuristic is the total pod count. And then there's also the node lifetime, but the node lifetime is only really considered if the expire after is set.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, so I need to double check beyond that then what like everything else being equal, what that sorting is. Either way, it's a good find.
I'm changing this to a feature request. Priority waiting evidence. Nope. Waiting more evidence, yeah. Okay. Expect reasons and budgets. I find that hard to believe. But there are a lot of people with plus ones.
I mean, I see I'm assigned to it. I haven't had a chance to get to this. Might be just worth taking off my assignment and going for needs help. I wonder though, what I've noticed is a lot of people tends to get the budget
Correct. Yeah.
semantic converted.
Yeah.
And that is like almost without fail always the issue. I have to take a look at theirs and what they expect, but
This is perhaps an argument to support the inverted budget semantic.
yeah, I mean, on one hand, it kind of muddies the water. Is it really? There's nothing you can
Yeah.
express with
What do you
one
call it,
that you can't
allowance?
express with the other, I think.
It is extremely awkward though. I mean, I think we all kind of agree that like I want to open it up in 2 hours and I have to then walk for 22 of them.
So it is. I mean, there are certain things that are definitely more natural to express when you uninvert it. The question is, does it just raise more customer confusion if you allow both?
Yeah, no, I know it's kind of a producty question. I don't know. Let's always just check the bug. I'm gonna kind of like punt on the feature at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Wait, did I unassign you, right? Okay, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I just know I've closed like maybe 4 issues in the past maybe month and a half related to the same thing.
Yeah. This is a known bug. And we need help. Yeah, that's a bug. A well-known one. Okay, race condition. Yeah, we know this one. I don't quite understand what they're. Do you know, Jason?
I think this was the one where I'd have to see. I haven't seen any of this recent, like in the past 2 weeks, discussion.
Yeah, I remember they said something about stuck in not terminating state and not ready state. It's like similar situation as the other one where the node has gone to.
It's not terminating with the TGP set.
Yeah, and that's what we hadn't been able to replicate that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know who was commenting on this. That had a different issue that was not related. Well, not exactly related to this
Did they
because they were ones that had nodes that were terminating and stuck there. See,
Did-
Phil's.
Did they prove that they have TGP set on the node claim itself? Jason or Gardner?
I do not recall.
I don't see any evidence of that.
I
That's
don't
why.
think this person replied back since there's other people chiming in about their issues. It seems like.
As it always goes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one we can probably unassign me just to. That way, if someone else wants to pick it up, they don't think, oh, someone's already working on it.
Not set termination. The node just stays. Yeah, this is it's also not a satisfying solution because it removes the node by force strength spots that run that. I'm almost inclined to close it. Like the original commenter isn't responding, and now we're just like having a bunch of people piggyback,
Yeah.
but claiming that it works correctly, right? Like, Jason, do you mind just take like I think we should respond to this person, but do you mind just like
Sure, I can. Which issue is this? 1776. Yeah, I will follow up after this and move to close it. If it's a novel issue, I'll just have them reopen or open as a new issue. That way we don't have all this piggyback context.
cool? That's that one. This does feature in the name, but it's a bug. Jason, you remember? You've been involved.
I don't remember. Doesn't look like there wasn't really I mean, why isn't this auto closing actually? Because I think we're still waiting on information.
Well, we dropped the guy that auto closes on the upstream just to adopt the like upstream model, which is like 60-day, 90-day, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's just taking too long. I mean, yeah, I think we're still in triage needs information.
Yep.
So
Wait, did we look at this one already? Yeah, I did. Okay. This is interesting. They're using kinesis. Okay, we have an AWS issue. I'm gonna close this one. This is like very AWS specific. That work? Yeah, okay, that does work. This is the same. Right? Got two that look exactly the same.
I mean, based on the titles. Have to see the actual content.
I believe so.
Jason, I know we were talking about something with volume limits. Is that this part that we discussed, or is that different?
Yeah, the keep scheduling part makes me not sure. Because as soon as the node joins the cluster, Karpenter discovers the limits and will go to scale up again. Because it discovers the limits that are published on the CSI node object. So you shouldn't see persistent scheduling failure because of it. What you could basically see is that Karpenter will assume all the pods will fit on one node, scales up that one node, realizes it's not enough with the CSI limits, then it scales up another node. So you see some increased provisioning latency, but you shouldn't see that. Like it should resolve.
The other guy real quick.
The one place where it may not is, so this is a specific issue, at least with EBS. I don't know if other cloud providers have similar issues where the volume limits don't actually model things properly, because for EBS, the volume limits are not only taken up by EBS volumes, but also by things like GPUs and network interfaces. So, but Kubernetes has no way to model that.
Yeah.
And Karpenter is also not aware of that. So it could potentially be something related to that. That's the one case I could think of where maybe Karpenter would get in the stuck state where it would continuously believe something could schedule to a node, but it couldn't. But as far as I'm aware, though, in that case, you actually still see the pod schedule. And it's like just a straight Kubernetes limitation. Because Kube Scheduler is also unaware. So you see the pod schedule and it just gets stuck in pending.
Yeah. This one, I think it's still a problem, yeah. Oh,
I think it's not necessarily, it's hard to say what type of a problem it is. I mean, it seems to come from basically users upgrading the CRDs to remove the v1 beta 1 annotation, or to remove the v1 beta 1 version before all of the stored versions, before all of the resources stored in etcd have been migrated to v1. So like they're still relying on the conversion webhook. I think what we still need to understand, and what I know I personally have been unable to reproduce, but what we need to understand is that, is there some issue with the migration controllers that are on v1 where we are removing v1 beta 1 from the stored version before we actually were able to migrate all of the resources in etcd?
right.
So, because this is absolutely something that can be hit by not following the migration guide, but it's just questioning, is there a gap in our controller that means you could hit it even if you do follow it?
This is one of those like trying to prove a negative cases. Like it's gonna be really hard to say this could never happen.
I've definitely tried a few times to reproduce and have been unable to. Short of like intentionally making the mistakes.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it open. We'll get to it when we get to it, but if it stills out, I'm not like super worried. This one I know, Reed, weren't you looking at this one? Or was that the failed daemon set thing, which is something different maybe?
We were looking, so we had talked about a failed daemon set where I don't think it's this issue. That one that we were talking about was node goes terminating, and then a daemon set reschedules and fails. At least that's what the issue claimed.
They haven't responded, so I'm gonna leave it. Oh, yes, the logging one, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the time to look at this. It's kind of complicated.
This is like frankly, this is a chore, right?
Yeah, it's not really a bug. It's annoying. Yeah.
I'm wondering, was there anything else with it that was a little more in depth? Because I see I added triage needs investigation. So I'm wondering if,
I don't think so. Because yeah, it does the spam if it can't fit the pod into blah, and then it just has its giants.
There's no associated logs in Kubernetes logs events. I think maybe it was just like the volume of errors, but like we would definitely continually fire these errors if we have a pod that's unschedulable from Karpenter's perspective.
Mhm.
Maybe there's something we do with I think we fire one per pod right now, right?
uh, 1 log per pod?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Like I wonder if we
Yeah.
just like store that we've logged for that pod within the last like 10 minutes and then we just don't log it again to reduce the error volume.
Or I'm wondering if you just have one error and just let the per pod information live as an event. Just have the error at the end of scheduling, like failed to schedule end pods. And then the specific information lives as an event. Or maybe like, oh yeah, no, we can't add status pod. So yeah, event.
I'm still failing to, I mean, these two sentences almost seem contradictory. There are some pods that weren't scheduled to dedicated nodes successfully. As per design, we don't want these pods scheduled to the dedicated nodes.
Yeah, they're running, I think, a split system where some are Carpenter managed, some are not. And the non-Carpenter managed will always be spammed.
Correct, yeah. I think it's a little odd though that they like just have pods that never schedule. Like that's where I was asking what their use case was, because I'm like, did you just have pods sitting there? Like why? They manually scale it up or something?
Well, I mean, just spitballing. We see a lot of customers who want to have a scale to zero mechanism built into Carpenter rather than driving scale to zero through scaling your pods to zero. Maybe it's that type of use case. Actually think, to Jeremy's point, I agree. I think it already is a debate. Oh wait, no, it's an error. That's why it's its own log level. Because I do agree, it's more debug level.
Yeah, once you start getting into the, high double digits of node pools, it's very hard to read.
Yes.
I'm also curious if there's a maximum size of the log where it'll just fail to log. Because that could be a scaling issue.
Seems like you'd have to emit a pretty massive log to have that happen.
You have 1,000 node pools, you might just get there.
I don't even know if that would do it. I mean, we haven't tried, but
think our Splunk team would be pretty mad. A bunch of 4 meg log lines going in.
Breaking GitHub apparently. Okay, I think we are pretty much at time at this point, so I'll stop here. I think we did got a pretty good amount. Let's see, check insights real quick. 9 issues closed. So -8. 1 issue open, 9 closed. So I'd say it's pretty successful. So cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all.